Most days feel the same. You wake up, scroll, move, work, breathe, but something's missing. You're moving, but not moving forward. You're not lost, you're unfocused. Not because you're lazy, but because there's no center. The Stoics didn't wait for motivation. They didn't ask, how do I feel today? They asked, what needs to be done? Then did it. Cold, clean, clear. Focus is not a feeling, it's a direction. It's not about hype, it's about hierarchy. What matters most goes first. Everything else? Burn it. You're tired because your mind runs without aim, without filter, without command. You check too much, reply too fast, react too often, but the more you respond to everything outside, the less you hear what's inside. So pause. Not to rest, to align. You don't need more energy, you need fewer leaks. You don't need more time, you need fewer lies about what really matters. Auto-unfoc isn't magic, it's not feeling ready. It's building your days so they point in the same direction, again and again and again, like the Stoics. You set your course, then walk, regardless of weather, regardless of noise, regardless of who's watching. Because discipline doesn't come from fire, it comes from form. From knowing where your attention goes, your soul follows. So choose, deliberately, violently if needed. Don't wait to want it. Move until the desire catches up. You're spread too thin. Because you think you're supposed to control everything. The outcome, the timing, their reaction, their loyalty, their love. But you can't. And the more you try, the more scattered you become. The Stoics had a rule: control what's yours. Leave the rest to the storm. You don't own the wind, but you own the sail. You don't command the sky, but you can choose when to fly. Most people lose focus because they waste their mind on things they can't touch. They argue, they chase, they predict, they panic, and when it fails, they collapse. Not because they're weak, but because they invested in the wrong things. You don't need to know what happens next. You need to master what happened. Your actions, your thoughts, your stance. When the noise rises, focus isn't just about attention, it's about filters. Saying, this is mine, this is not, then moving accordingly, without hesitation, without apology. Let them misunderstand, let the plan shift, let the world swirl. But inside, stay exact. Your values, your habits, your breath. Because peace isn't found in control, it's found in discernment. And once you stop gripping what's beyond you, your hands are free to build what's within you. Let the storm rage, just don't let it in. Focus on the seed, not the forecast. Water what's yours, and let the rest fall where it may. You forget how limited this is. The morning, the hour, the breath you just took, gone, forever, no return. Memento Mori isn't about fear, it's about focus. It's a blade that cuts through distraction, that strips the day down to what matters. The Stoics looked at death every morning. Not to cry, not to panic, to prioritize. Because once you accept that time is slipping, you stop wasting it trying to please everyone who doesn't even notice you. You stop scrolling, stop arguing, stop replaying the past that won't fix itself. You start living, deliberately, sharply, fully. The end is coming. That's not dark, it's clarifying. Because when you carry death in your pocket, you stop carrying what drains you. You stop saying later. You stop saving your best words for safer days. You start answering pain with presence. You start entering rooms without pretending. When you know this could be the last time, you finally show up as the truest version of yourself. Remember death to return to life. To stop floating, to stop surviving, to stop calling half attention a day well lived. This isn't morbid, it's discipline, a daily ritual of dropping the nonsense. You won't get this day again, or this breath, or this moment, to start the thing you've been postponing for a version of you that may never exist. So wake up, not scared, but aware. You're dying. We all are. The question is, how much of you will live before that happens? Everything outside can break, and often does. The news, the people, the noise, the pressure. But inside, there's a place untouched, if you remember how to enter it. The Stoics called it the inner citadel, a fortress, a quiet stronghold, built not of walls but of discipline, of identity, of presence, of refusal. Refusal to react, refusal to be pulled, refusal to confuse chaos with truth. You've been too exposed, too available, too responsive. You check before you breathe, you reply before you think. You give your energy to every fire that isn't yours. No wonder you feel scattered. Stillness doesn't come from silence, it comes from separation. Not from the world, but from what you no longer need to carry. So close the gate, just for a while. Let the dust settle. No calls, no comments, no explanations. Return to the room in you that doesn't move, even when everything else does. The Stoics trained there, daily. They didn't wait for peace. They entered it, built it, wore it like armor. You don't need to vanish, just withdraw, inward, not as escape, as alignment. Because when you're anchored from within, nothing pulls you off course. Not their words, not the day, not even fear. Your citadel is always there, but it won't build itself. You return to it. Every time you choose not to react, every time you let the world spin without spinning with it. This is your edge, not apathy, but control. Not coldness, but clarity, not detachment, but direction. So step in, breathe slow, lock the gate, you're home. You're holding too much, too many people, too many opinions, too many versions of who you think you're supposed to be. No wonder you can't focus. You're busy carrying what was never meant to stay. The Stoics knew how to cut. Quick, cold, clean, not because they didn't feel, but because they felt too much to let the wrong things win. Every yes steals from something sacred. Every I'll handle it steals from your center. You think letting go is losing, but what if holding on is what's bleeding you? Focus is formed by what you refuse. Refuse the noise, refuse the drama, refuse the bait, to explain yourself to those already committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to prove you're kind, you don't need to prove you're strong, you just need to walk away from anything that makes you forget who you were before the world told you you weren't enough. Let go of expectations, of timelines, of closure, of being understood by people who never asked how you're really doing. Let go of needing the outcome to justify the process. This isn't giving up, it's getting clear. This isn't detachment, it's discernment. This isn't apathy, it's alignment. You let go. Because holding on would mean abandoning everything you're trying to protect. The fire, the stillness, the small rituals that keep you whole. So release, not with anger, with grace, not for them, for you. Because some things are too heavy to carry into your next version. And when you finally drop them, you don't fall, you rise. You don't need to do more, you need to do less, with more precision, more intention, more presence. The Stoics didn't seek power, they sought control, but not over others, over self. Because when you govern your reactions, you govern your life. Most people are slaves to habits, to patterns, to urgency, to fear. They follow the current because they never learned how to stand. But mastery doesn't come from intensity, it comes from consistency. Waking up, sitting still, moving clean, choosing wisely, even when no one's watching, especially then. Discipline is a kind of love, a sharp, sacred kind. It says, I believe in where this is going, even when today doesn't feel good. And freedom, it's not the absence of pressure. It's being able to act without compulsion. No more chasing, no more proving, no more drowning in what-ifs, just quiet movement, like a blade through fog. Unfocused isn't a mindset, it's a practice, a sharpening, a refusal to scatter. It's saying this matters, so I move toward it daily. And if the world shifts, let it. If they misunderstand, let them. If the results come slow, keep moving, because the one who walks with clarity is never behind. True power is walking away from noise without looking back, is staying in the ritual long after the feeling fades, is knowing that self-mastery is the only form of freedom no one can ever take. So start, again, silently like the Stoics did. No need for motivation, no need for fire, just direction and the discipline to follow it.